The desolate world of Thalros was a silent witness to the passage of time, its skies clouded by ash, its earth cracked open from centuries of neglect. The remnants of long-abandoned colonies lay strewn across the barren landscape, as if forgotten by the stars themselves. The planet, once alive with the hum of industry and the echoes of a thriving colony, now lay in crumbled silence. Shattered domes and broken towers pierced the horizon, their skeletal remains casting long shadows under the twin suns. A planet of scars, abandoned to its fate after the rift had swallowed its secrets only the most daring, or foolish, dared to seek. Amidst this wasteland, a flicker of movement. The guardian of the rift descended from the heavens, its colossal form cutting through the storm, casting a long shadow over the cracked earth. The engine's hum reverberated like the heartbeat of the universe itself. Every time he appears, something shifts. It's like the very fabric of reality is changing around him. And while some say he's nothing more than a ghost, a whisper on the wind, others, they know that the day he comes, the world will change. The Scavengers, also known as the Waste Lords of Drathker, moved like shadows across the barren landscape, their mismatched forms a patchwork of alien flesh, metal, and bone. Once a proud people, they were now fragments of their former selves, scavenging a ruined world for survival. Their ancestors had ruled this planet centuries ago, before the rift's energy drove them to infighting and eventual subjugation by the Celestial Empire, a totalitarian regime. They had long since learned to make do with the scraps of the old world, repurposing technology, salvaging what remained, and clinging to life in the barren stretches of desert and dust. On the ground, the Seeker stood alone. His helmet gleamed under the harsh light of the dying sun, the cape trailing behind him barely visible against the endless wasteland. His steps were slow, deliberate, as though he had all the time in the universe to cross this broken land. Even as the planet trembled under the weight of centuries, the Seeker walked with quiet certainty, his gaze focused ahead, as though the very soil beneath him obeyed his will. Behind him, the dropships released their cargo, turrets and drones swarming to his side. But Seeker didn't need to command them, he didn't even look back. The battlefield had already been calculated in his mind, and his presence alone was enough to shift the tides. As he activated his turrets, a voice crackled over his comms. It was Astra, his ever-constant AI companion, cool and calm amidst the chaos.
Seeker, the Scavenger forces are closing in. We should proceed with caution.
He glanced up briefly toward the Guardian of the Rift, its silhouette looming like a silent sentinel above. Then, without a word, the Seeker turned his focus back to the battlefield, his body moving with the cold precision of a machine. His weapons fired in perfect synchronization with his calculated movements. Some say he's not even alive. That he's a manifestation of the rift itself. But no matter the origin, his arrival marks the beginning of something powerful. And in his wake, the universe feels it, a shift, a trembling of the foundations. The Scavengers charged forward in desperation, but the Seeker met them head-on. The turrets laid down suppressing fire, his drones darting through the air, picking off targets with surgical precision. It was chaos, but the Seeker was calm amidst the storm, his actions speaking volumes of the discipline he had cultivated over centuries. The voice of the Scavenger leader crackled over the comms, rough and defiant.
Who are you, stranger? This isn't your war. Leave, or be claimed like the rest of us.
The Guardian didn't respond. He never did. Seeker raised his arm, a flicker of light activating the integrated targeting systems in his suit. His helmet's visor displayed a tactical readout of the Scavenger forces, a shifting mass of heat signatures and metal glints among the rubble.
Efficient as ever. Though, I do recommend leaving survivors for questions. You've been rather thorough lately.
They'll talk. The desperate always do.
Bodies fell as the turrets continued their barrage. Plasma bolts and makeshift weapons fired wildly from the Scavengers, but they found no target. The Seeker moved with an unnatural grace, his cloak blending into the dust and shadows. One by one, the Scavengers fell back until only a few remained. Among them was the leader, towering over his peers with scavenged armor and a jagged blade at his side.
What do you want from us? We have nothing left.
The Seeker approached, his imposing form casting a shadow over the Scavenger leader. His helmet tilted slightly, analyzing the trembling man before him.
Recommend retrieving data from their comms. They're unlikely to offer anything of value willingly.
Ignoring Astra's suggestion, Seeker knelt, his modulated voice low and menacing.
I'm not here for your scraps. Tell me about the rift.
The Scavenger leader's eyes widened, his fear replaced by a flicker of defiance.
You think you're the only one chasing it? You think we haven't suffered enough because of that cursed thing? The rift destroys everything it touches.
For the first time, the Seeker's helmet tilted as if in contemplation. The faintest hum of energy crackled around him, and the Scavenger leader flinched, backing away instinctively.
Seeker, we're receiving unusual energy readings from the east. Another Scavenger band. No, it's something else. Recommend extraction.
The Seeker stood, his gaze shifting briefly to the horizon. A storm of dust rose in the distance, and within it, faint silhouettes moved. He didn't need to see them clearly to know they weren't scavengers.
Prepare the ship. This is far from over.
Without another word, the Seeker turned, leaving the battered Scavenger leader and his remaining troops. The drones returned to the dropships, the turrets deactivated, and within moments, the battlefield was silent once more. As the Guardian of the Rift ascended into the sky, the Scavenger leader collapsed to his knees, his gaze fixed on the departing figure. High above Thalros, the Seeker entered the ship's bridge, his form illuminated by the pulsing light of the Rift's distant glow. Astra's voice filled the room, analytical yet tinged with something akin to curiosity.
That energy signature, should we investigate further?
We have what we need for now. But the rift isn't finished with us yet.
The ship's engines roared, and the Guardian of the Rift vanished into the void, leaving Thalros and its scars behind.
If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more epic tales from across the stars. Join us for more adventures, where every story takes you to new worlds, unexpected battles, and unforgettable characters. Your support helps us bring these stories to life, so stay tuned for the next chapter in our epic saga. See you in the next adventure.